Is it possible to break 3,000 feet a second with a 22 LR? Well, it's definitely not happening with even the fastest factory load, but several years back, Tauflader Mouse actually broke somewhere around 2,500 feet a second by using a 22 caliber pellet over top of a 22 caliber nail gun blank. The thing is, he only went up to this yellow power level here, but as you can see on the box, there is a level above yellow, and there's a level that I found that's even above that level, so either we are going to break 3,000 feet a second, or we are going to break this rifle trying. And I'm really hoping it's not the rifle, because CVA literally just sent me their freaking sweet new little Cascade Rimfire rifle. So before we go absolutely insane on this thing, let's start off with the level right below yellow and see how fast that gets us. Okay, so somehow on the first shot we got 2,055 feet a second, which is pretty decent, but then the next one came in at 1,707 and the last one came in at 1,705, so I don't know what's going on there, but it is pretty inconsistent. Not like we were expecting the green load to get us to 3,000 feet a second or anywhere close, but how much closer will the yellow level get us? I think I've actually seen some videos of this doing around 2,800 feet a second, but that was with regular lead pellets, and I am not using regular lead pellets because they can be extremely dangerous, so I will be using the red penetrators by Crossman. These ones do not have any lead and they have a very solid plastic base. Redo. What the fuck? So initially I changed that chronograph out because I was like, the Athlon must just be acting up or it's not sensitive enough. And we did get one to register on the Garmin if we would stop moving for a second. Yeah, 2,500 feet a second with that one, but then the next two didn't register at all. So it's not really the chronograph's fault. It's just way too close of a distance for them to pick up the ultra fast bullets. So let's move this party back to 60 yards and see if we get any better results. What the fuck? After a grand total of 23 shots, we finally got another one to register at 2452.2, so we're going to go with right under 2,500 feet a second. What a way to break in a brand new rifle. I mean, normally if the chronograph's not picking up around, I would say that the bullets are splitting apart midair, but every single one that I put on cardboard down there has been a single hole, so I'm thinking that the plastic base is messing with the radar system in the chronograph. I mean, I definitely could be wrong about that, but at least we are getting closer to our goal, and I think power level 5 might just push us over the edge. Now, power level 5 is somewhat hard to find because, believe it or not, these are primarily used in dog training toys of all things. I literally could not find them in any hardware store, and I think the reason behind that is because I read some reviews stating that these are so freaking powerful they have been known to blow up some nail guns from time to time. So I'm not gonna lie, I am pretty worried about pulling the trigger on this. And I did actually buy the two brands that load for power level 5 to see which one gets us a higher velocity. Let's start things off with the blue point, if we can even pick up a freaking velocity. Well, that was interesting. Well, if there was one good thing, both chronographs picked it up and they were pretty consistent, but the bad thing was that it blew apart my freaking magazine. Holy shiteballs, what even happened? Let's check out the chamber and... oh, okay, so the case looks like it just freaking blew out all the pressure towards the backside. I'm thinking that is because this is a and CVA, I gotta hand it to you. You designed one hell of a rimfire rifle. I mean, other than the magazine, I really don't see any damage on the bolt. I mean, obviously it doesn't look brand new or anything, but even the extractors and everything held together, that is insane. I think this rifle saved my ass, but I am still crazy enough to keep going with the testing, which leads us to our CCI blanks. I do trust these ones a bit more because CCI really knows what they're doing in the rimfire world, obviously, but I will not be dumbly pulling the trigger like I did last time. I'll be using my extendo finger because unlike, well, obviously because of what happened last time, and because unlike any of the other blanks so far, these ones are not neck down at all. They are just a straight taper, so they have a shite-load more powder, which means a shite-load more pressure, and hopefully a shite-load more velocity, but not boom boom. Okay, so that one was pretty interesting as well. It seemed like I saw a spark or something go off inside there. I don't know for sure, but let's check out the velocity. Okay, both of them picked it up again somehow. I don't know if it was just spacing before or what the issue was, but let's crack open this action here if we can and see what... Oh, it popped it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think, yeah, these ones are a little too high pressure, and I think we would be doing about 3,000 feet a second, but a lot of the pressure is coming back. To this point, I have only been pushing the pellets in to engage the rifling, just barely engaging the rifling, which I think is what's causing a shite load of pressure to build up. I'm wondering if I push it a little bit further down the barrel, you know, if that's going to cause the pressure to spike or not, and if it doesn't, you know, what kind of velocities are we getting? Let me try that one more time. Moment of truth. Okay, so that one didn't pick it up. Let's see if the Garmin... Oh, 2316, so nowhere close to our goal. I guess that's kind of the issue, is you need the pressure to build up to, you know, go those types of velocities, but obviously when you push it far down the barrel, it doesn't really build up that much pressure. Let's crack open the action, though, and see if the case ruptured at all, because if not, then I guess, yeah, it looks perfectly fine to me. I mean, there is... No, actually, that was just where the firing pin hits. So yeah, I mean, it looks to be in a lot better condition than it did last time. But you may remember me saying that there's a power level above 5, and that's power level number 6, as you can see on this box.
What color could possibly be more powerful than red?
Purple, apparently. I don't know. They must have gotten that from Star Wars or something. And it says 6 on the box for CCI, but I did not see anywhere that they actually produce a number 6. So I had to go with Blue Point for that one. These ones are still pretty rare and, you know, somewhat hard to find.
Wait, but I just found them on Amazon.
Well, it really didn't seem like anything too crazy happened that time around. Let's see if the, oh shit, well, looks pretty decent in there. I guess the extractor just didn't pick it up. What was the velocity though? 0. And let me see, nothing. Well, you know, it sounded like 3,000 feet a second. No, I'm just kidding. We'll try that again. And I did want to show you one of my new favorite 22LR accessories, and that's the G-code bang box. So I take a brick of 22LR basically every time I take a 22 to the range, and last time the box of the brick decided to give out on me. It was an absolute mess, so I decided right then I was going to look for an ultra durable box alternative, which is when I found the G-code bang box. It's essentially an extremely tough plastic base with a soft zipper lid, and it fits a brick of 22LR perfectly, with or without the box. So if you like to bang and you really don't like regular boxes, make sure to check out the bang box at tacticalholsters.com. G-code 10 will save 10%, and I'll also have a link down below. Okay, actually, maybe we won't try that again. What in the hell happened here? I don't even know what is going on with this case. Well, unless I buy one of those dog training toys, I wasted a bunch of money on these freaking blanks. I guess if shrapnel comes back though, then, you know, maybe I will need one of those dog training toys.
Wait a second, you said 3,000 feet a second.
Hey, I said 3,000 feet a second, or we break the rifle, which we seem to be very close to, but thanks to this tank of a rimfire rifle, that did not happen, other than the magazine issue, which that was just a 1022 plastic magazine, so that was bound to blow up with that much pressure coming back. This rifle, though, so CVA told me that their Cascade Rimfire was designed in-house, and then they have Rete build it, which, you know, I'll be honest, I was a little bit worried about, but the build quality is absolutely superb, and like we have seen, this thing can take a beating to the max, to the absolute max. This was the group, the first 5 shots that I put out of this rifle with federal bulk at 25 yards. I know that's not that long of a distance, but guys, this is one of my favorite new rifles out there. I mean, my gosh. Okay, I was kind of curious what kind of velocity drop we'd be getting out of a handgun, so I put the CCI Reds in there and then loaded up the pellets, and we were getting about 1456, so a pretty significant drop over the rifle, even with the rifle not getting a full-on velocity. I mean, I'm sure we're getting a shite load of pressure escaping with the revolver here, that little cylinder gap there, but I mean, I'm definitely not shooting it out of a semi-auto handgun. That would maybe even destroy the slide. I'm not 100% sure what would happen. But anyway, this is the new Henry Golden Boy, and what they changed on this model is they added an adjustable sight, and they also added a fiber optic front sight, which makes this a shite load more usable than the last model. I mean, this thing is almost perfect now.
Yeah, enough about the guns.
Guys, I'm pretty disappointed we didn't hit the 3,000 feet a second mark like we had originally set out to do, but we still hit 17 HMR numbers. We basically turned the 22 LR into a 17 HMR. So what I'm wondering now is how much better this is than a regular 22 LR on steel, because a regular 22 LR is probably the worst cartridge we've ever tested on mild steel. Although I don't recall ever testing the fastest factory loaded 22 LR either, so let's see what that does on an 1/8 inch piece of mild steel to start. Oh yeah, that looks like a healthy step up over a regular 22. Well, actually getting a little closer. I don't know what happened. Okay, yeah, it definitely did not go through. It left a substantial dent though, especially compared to a regular 22. How will that blank change things up though? Okay, I think we're getting to the point where there's a little too much fouling in the chamber, because that one blew as well, if you could see that. Like I said, this gun is a freaking tank. It is an absolute beast. I've put the cleaning rod in multiple patches down the barrel throughout the video, but I think the problem is the plastic is still building up right past the chamber, which is causing pressure issues. Although it did end up hitting the target, and it left a dent on the steel, so it must have been going decently fast. I guess we'll give it one really good cleaning and then try it again. Okay, time for round 2. Okay, well that seemed to do the trick. There were no blow-ups that time around. The shell looks perfectly normal. It's just so much louder than a regular 22, and I don't even know where I hit on that damn thing. Okay, so it hit pretty much right where I was aiming that time around, but apparently velocity cannot help with whatever that pellet is constructed of. I mean, that might be even worse than the first one there. Ever so slight dent, but barely anything. Well, that was pretty disappointing, but I guess let's see how it compares to the world's actual fastest rimfire cartridge. One that can actually do a legitimate 3,000 feet a second like we were after with the 22 LR. Well, actually more like 2,900 whenever it's cold outside. This is the 17 WSM Winchester Super Magnum. We have never tested it on this channel before, so let's see how much steel it can go through. I don't even need to walk down range. It was that clean of a hole, but can somebody please tell me what got ripped up here? I mean, I don't know if that's a deer or a bunny or what. Hopefully whatever ripped that thing up does not come for me next. But anyway, that is a super cool looking hole, although it looks pretty freaking massive for a 17 cal. Let me try to get my pinky in there. Yeah, that is freaking massive for a 17 cal, so I don't think that means good things for stepping up the steel, but let's jump up to a 3/16 inch piece. I'm assuming it didn't go through. It was kind of hard to tell what was going on there. Yeah, it definitely did not go through. Man, that is a massive crater though. Pinky hole feels pretty good. Definitely not sharp like some of the other rounds. Obviously it did not go through though. Now I'm thinking the only thing this combo is potentially good for, the 22 blank combo, or the squirrels in the backyard. But that's really going to depend on how it does on ballistic gel #1, and if we can actually get it quiet enough for the neighbors to not call in. Which is why I put CMMG Zeroed 22 can up front here. Like I said, this thing is so much louder than a regular 22, so I really don't know if it's possible to tame this beast, but we're gonna at least try. So if you believe my little cheap decibel meter here, it was coming in about 94.7, you know, close to the shooter's ear, which really isn't that bad. Still don't know if that's quite enough, but I am very surprised at how well that Zeroed 22 can did. And what do we have here? I am not gonna lie, that wound channel looks pretty disappointing, but the entry hole looks surprisingly big. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever gotten a 22 cal hole to go that deep. Man, but let's check out that wound channel and see what we have going on. Okay, so it curves straight down. I think we might be solving the world's problems. There is no red piece of plastic, you know, following that, so I guess it shears off somewhere in the mix. And it looks like it came in right at about 9.5 inches. I guess the only thing left to do is see how it compares to an actual varmint round that's moving 3,000 feet a second and was designed to fragment. Well, tell from the sound of that smack. I bet that squirrel would be feeling that. It looks absolutely nasty upon initial investigation. I mean, the wound channel isn't quite as big as I thought it would be, I guess. And that hole is tiny, tiny, tiny. I'm definitely not getting my pinky in there, but let's check out the wound channel from the side. Oh, wow, that is disgusting. It's just fragmented into a shite load of different little pieces in there. Okay, so rated about 8 inches, and then the bulk of the bullet is about 7 1/4. I think the moral of the story is if you want 3,000 feet a second with a rimfire cartridge, just go with the 17 WSM. I mean, it already exists, and it's literally your only option. Obviously, do not try anything that I've done on this video. It would be stupid to. And remember, don't let ballistics drive you bananas.